Donald J. Trump is a limited hangout. What's a limited hangout? This is something that clandestine agencies like the CIA basically use to keep their information under wraps and to keep the public from getting to the core of the truth. It's called a limited hangout. From Wikipedia, according to Victor Marchetti, a former special assistant to the deputy director of the Central Intelligence Agency, a limited hangout is spy jargon for a favorite and frequently used gimmick of the clandestine professionals. When their veil of secrecy is shredded and they can no longer rely on a phone or cover story to misinform the public, they resort to admitting, sometimes even volunteering, some of the truth while managing to withhold the key and damaging facts in this case. In the case, the public, however, is usually so intrigued by the new information that it never thinks to pursue the matter further. Gee, does that sound familiar to anybody? It sure sounds familiar to me. What we have here is a man who is in the Epstein files talking about releasing the Epstein files. And now when they do get released, it's a hoax. And he has gotten caught slipping up and stating that he is in the Epstein files. He's gotten caught red-handed slipping up and saying that he's in them. But now it's a hoax. What y'all need to understand, and Tyler Koala, I hope you see this. What y'all need to understand is that this man is controlled by the same people who controlled Bill Clinton. It's what I've been saying the entire time. These people are friends behind closed doors. They hang out. It's just like Jesse Ventura said. It's like wrestling. They go on the stage, they yell at each other, act like they hate each other, fight each other, and then when it's all done and over with, they go out for some beers. This is what politics is in the United States and the world abroad. These people are basically just working for corporations. They're like mascots for corporations, essentially, all these politicians. And it's just gone so far down the shitter that there's just nothing left anymore. So I want to share with you guys something. The whole reason why I got here, and this has to do with the limited hangout stuff, because here's the thing. The Central Intelligence Agency and the Psychological Operations Department of the United States military, they've gotten so fucking good at their job. I'm actually, I gotta give credit where it's due. Holy shit, you guys. You got some people who are some of the most good people on the planet, really, deep down inside. They want the truth to get out there. You got them on the team of the bad guys. You managed to do that. You managed to make them share images of Elon Musk, the guy who kills monkeys by trying to put computer chips in their brain, wearing a Baphomet costume, and they're saying, oh, it's all just a joke. He's making fun of them. Nah, he's not making fun of them. He's one of them. All right? I know because I've been to the future, and in the future, everybody's obsessed with and worships efficiency. That's what the computer worships, so that's what they worship. How efficient were you? How productive were you? How much energy did you save? How much energy did you use? That's what everything comes down to. And it's not by some grand coincidence that Elon Musk, the Neuralink guy who named his kid like the computer named us in this future that I've been to, my name was L18, 1123 or something like that. I know my first part was L18. I have trouble with the second part. But we were literally named numbers. He names it like, nobody in this movement listens to me. That's when you say, it's been a while, it's been about a week or so. I love my audience here, but I feel like I need to get on like all the other people's podcasts to talk and be a part of the community again. But I can't. I'm sidelined because I'm telling the truth. If I were eating up all this Trump bullshit, I would be doing a lot better and you'd be seeing me a lot more, but I'm not. And I think what it is I can understand why people believed the Trump thing for a little bit. I even did for a second. For a very brief moment. And it's probably really hard to admit you were wrong. And admit that, oh, this guy's actually a PDF file who is on Epstein's Island, who is compromised, who is owned by the same elites, the same ancient Canaanite ball-worshipping cult that Bill Clinton. It's all the same fucking people, you guys. This is what I've been trying to explain to you. So Tyler Koala, bless his soul. I'm just being real, okay? He posts on his Facebook Holy shit. The White House just sent a letter to the Smithsonian, which is real. They did do that. Notifying them that there will be a comprehensive internal review of their entire operation to include inspection of their collections. This comes the day after Trump took federal control of D.C., took control of the Metropolitan Police for 30 days, and deployed the National Guard to D.C. The Smithsonian Museum has an infamous underground tunnel system, underneath the National... Yeah, I'm going full tinfoil hat. Trump just deployed the National Guard to D.C. The next day he's going to search the Smithsonian tunnels. Maybe I'm just reading into it too much, but my anon senses are tingling. All right, Tyler. Let's check this out here.
How y'all doing today? Y'all staying in that trouble? You got your ID on you, Chip?
No, I live right here.
Okay. Cool.
I don't hear anything.
Cigarette.
I'm just gonna try to figure out why.
Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're
You
doing
guys see
checks.
the video?
Everybody's safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow.
Let me know if you hear the video. I can't hear it. It was very short anyway. But I wanted to show that, okay, and then here's an article about it. Federal agent stops black man over cigarette, and it's actually a group. And basically, a black man was smoking on his porch on the first day of the deployment. They came up and approaching the group and asked him if he was smoking marijuana. So Tyler, if you're watching this, do you think that those black guys smoking cigarettes and having a few beers on their porch, like maybe have some Smithsonian artifacts in their basement, perhaps? Is that the reason why federal agents are harassing them? Let me explain something to y'all. The government just can't go in and just do things and just have us lie down on our back and accept it. They have to finesse us with mind control to make us accept and even ask for their totalitarian takeover. That's what the ICE thing is. You've got armed, masked agents going around and kidnapping people, and now you got copycat ICE agents snatching women and assaulting them because that's the environment we've created. And I guess it's good because we're going to stop the trafficking. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't hear it. I really hate StreamYard. I just am lazy, and man, I got to learn how to use OBS. I've got 15 days to do it. I canceled my subscription. I'm gonna within the next week or two, you're probably gonna see your first few OBS videos, and I apologize in advance for the bugginess. That's what I'm afraid of. Is the technical difficulties that will assuredly happen on air, but that's the only way to get through them. They want steals from Iraq stolen by ISIS and sold to others, grabbed at customs, stored in basements. Well, the story with Iraq is we went over there to steal some artifacts, and I'm pretty sure maybe even secure some Stargates. But yeah, it's a known fact. The Iraqi government even publicly stated that we went into one of their museums and raided it, and the government still denies it to this day. So, Urso, all respect to you, all the love to you in the world, I appreciate you, but the truth is, ISIS wasn't the one who stole, we did. We went there and stole their shit. The United States government did that. We went there and stole ancient Sumerian artifacts and Zoroastrian artifacts. So, yeah, and I really appreciate the donation, the $20 donation. That's really cool of you. It really helps a lot. I do not monetize my videos on YouTube, and I am convinced that's why they never take my channel down and fuck with me the way they fuck with a lot of other people, so I'm going to continue to not monetize my videos. I only monetize videos that are very surface level, that don't talk about really dark stuff, because I don't think YouTube likes monetizing dark content. But I think they don't mind making money off of me and not giving me any money. So I think that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, I should watch that. I actually, I'll be honest with you, Stargate was the first time I realized that I am the god Ra. Which sounds insane to people, like the most narcissistic shit ever, but I read my brother's book, alright? Project Ibis is real. I really am Ra. It's you guys making such a big deal of it. I'm just some being that existed a long time ago that gained a lot of power. One of many. But, and I'm not even that good of a person. But yeah, when I saw that movie, I knew I was Ra. You wanna know why? Because Ra in that is very non-binary, and I'm gonna admit to you guys now, I'm fucking non-binary. I have to hide it from this community. But yeah, I'm non-binary, and I saw that in the Ra, and it just reminded me of me. What does it mean to be non-binary? I have, like, over 100 personalities in me and something, and some of them are female and some of them are male, and I'm gender fluid. The way I feel about my gender can change in a day. So that's why I've always been really vocal about trans people and not hating trans people, because we have so many transgender super soldiers. They like to put us in the wrong body to fuck with us. They really do. I'm not making it up. It's true. Most souls can kind of go in any body and they'll be all right, but some souls have incarnated as female more because they liked it a lot, or as male more because they liked it a lot. They felt more comfortable, and eventually their soul sort of leans that way, and so they will actually put people in the wrong body on purpose. So that's why I've never got why the truther community is so transphobic. You're literally like turning your back on some of the people that are in the programs that really could use your help. Even the weird stuff with, like, I'm not about it. Like, I don't think people should act like animals and stuff, but I think a lot of it's because some of these people, they were like dog people or wolf people or whatever, and now you got the furry thing. Maybe that's what that comes from. I digress, though. I'm not saying you should dress up like an animal every day or whatever. I'm just saying maybe that's where it comes from. So anyway, like I said, a limited hangout is when you give some of the information, or even a lot of the information, but as long as you withhold a bunch, that's okay. And this is where I empathize with people like Tyler and people seeing this stuff. But I just know better. Like, why I empathize is because, yes, the Smithsonian is this evil institution that has covered up our history. If you found bones of a giant, they would come in, bring it on an airplane, and drop it into the ocean. They're basically an extension of the Montauk Project, honestly, literally. They're an extension of, like, whoever is the head of that talks to Montauk, I guarantee you. Like, the actual head, maybe not the public one, but it could be the public one. In fact, if I were to look it up, I might shit my pants, but, whoa, I remember this person. I'm gonna do that real quick. Head of Smithsonian Institute. So yeah, that is real, and that's why, you know, I was friends with Journey to Truth and all those guys. Wow, that guy does look really familiar, Lonnie Bunch. Anyway, that's why I was friends with those guys and went on their show for so long and was in the community for so long. It's because, look, man, these programs are real, they matter. But at the end of the day, that's being trumped by being like, see, guys, it's actually okay that we have jackbooted thugs kidnapping people in American streets. It's okay that we're rounding up homeless people without due process. It's okay we're making criminals out of people that aren't criminals. And let me remind you, one of the only people who ever talked with me about this ever was Tyler Koala. The fact that the prison system is used to siphon SSP vets and assets and use them over and over again. And I've talked a lot about how a lot of people are homeless on the streets. Like, people, I got a comment. I've been asking for donations for a reverb pedal that I'm trying to buy, okay, on my PayPal. And somebody's like, why don't you just work? Dude, I turn into other people. Like, out of nowhere. Like, I can't predict when I turn into other people. And I have mood swings and PTSD because I get memories back, and I can't predict when I get the memories back. Have you ever gotten the memories back in the middle of the day of, like, losing, like, your family, like a family you had? Or, like, maybe it was, like, someone that you got, like, remembering a guy I got sent on a lot of missions with, like, dozens of missions with, became really good friends with, and even wrote songs with, and then I just never saw them again out of nowhere without any explanation, and I still have never seen their face in the here and now, and I miss that person? Like, this is the kind of shit I deal with. A level of grief. Like, my author told me one day when I was remembering, and I was going into my memories, he was like, dude, you need to stop. And I was like, why? And he was like, if you were to remember everything, it'd be like grieving 1,000 deaths at once, and you would be crippled by grief, and you would be completely unable to function. So I get real cheesed by people. Like, I get it. I said in the post that I made, asking for, I'm trying to get $200 to $300 for a reverb pedal because I'm trying to make ambient music, all right? I got a great pedal board. It just happens to be the ambient reverb that I have is a T-Move pedal that pops every time you turn it on. So I'm trying to get these donations. And someone actually asked me, like, why don't you just work, you asshole, you fucking lazy piece of shit? You don't think I would work if I could? I could work at a dispensary and just sell weed to people. I even have my weed license. Like, I could do that. You think I wouldn't want to do that? I do. I talked about it with my therapist, and for a moment I was going to do it. But then The last time I talked to my therapist, she agreed it's maybe not a good thing for me to do. I told her, I'm like, I don't want to say her name, but like, I was like, I'm afraid that I could end up in jail from like altering out and not knowing where I am and getting confused and blacking out. That happens to me, you guys. Like, I literally have moments where all of a sudden I'm in a different place and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? That's my life. So that's why I don't have a job, to all of you people who think that I'm just some fucking grifter. Like, I get it. I said in the post, nobody owes me anything. It's just, do you want to hear me make a good music? And there's people out there I know, like Brian Singh. I don't talk to him anymore, but there's people out there who just have money to throw around. You know, if you don't have money to throw around, then don't. I'm not talking to you. I know there's also people who email me in my emails that were very close to me in the programs who I feel like maybe wouldn't mind helping me. It's just true. Like, but, and I want to thank you for the donations on YouTube. Like I said, every time that I get my paycheck from YouTube, which is nice, it's really nice to get that, like 8 cents is from the ads, the ad revenue. It's all you guys and your donations. They're very paltry. They give a very paltry amount to us, and I don't monetize half my videos because of the content. I don't think YouTube will like it. So, what am I trying to get at here? You know, I saw this post about the Smithsonian Institute, and there's another one that I saw too. And I'll just kind of share it. I got a personal message here, so I can't. Basically. Okay, so here's one that James Rank shared. Again, I'm gonna call you guys out for sharing disinformation. Doesn't mean I don't love you guys. Doesn't mean I don't respect the fact that you've tried to get the truth out there. I just think you're wrong. That's all. I know that might be hard to hear, but I actually hope that you can admit that you're wrong where you're wrong, and maybe in the ways that I'm wrong, because nobody's perfect. People are wrong usually about certain things. What I'm hoping is that someday we can meet in the middle again. And we're not going to be able to do that by me just sitting on the fucking sidelines and not speaking up about all this bullshit being shared by my former comrades in the disclosure movement. So, bombshell, Trump unleashes 100, this is June 29th, 150 million trillion payback operation through Jassara. As the hour struck, as of June 28th, 2025, Trump is activating the largest wealth release in history. 150 in stolen funds from the globalist elite is being returned to we the people through Jassara. So let me explain something about this. If we were just all given this money overnight, nobody would have any reason to work, and it would crash the economy. So that's stupid. For centuries, the cabal drained humanity through fiat slavery. That's true. More taxes. That's true. And endless wars. Also true. Now the chains are snapping. Nope, not fucking true at all. They're actually strengthening with AI and an AI surveillance system that Trump and all his tech bro buddies are. That you guys all prop up and say Elon Musk is going to take us to the stars. Yay! You're all fucking propping these fucking literal Baphomet worshipping fucking blood drinking fucking PDF files. Anyway, he's going to give us gold, minerals, energy reserves, and he's going to give us free energy. Okay? But also, we're going to frack the Everglades. We're going to start fracking. We're going to start using America's oil. We're going to drill offshore. Even though we have free energy, we're going to start offshore drilling. The fucking cognitive dissonance is absolutely astounding to me. Guess what you don't need anymore if you have free energy? Fucking oil. It's a waste of time, a waste of energy and resources. And as I've said, pretty much the whole entire time I've been public, it's like literally like blood of the earth, and us using it for our cars is a form of Luciferian fucking black magic. But nobody wants to listen to that. The Hindenburg incident where the Nazi Zeppelin came over here and started on fire was a Montauk incident. There's supposed to be Zeppelins painting the skies. The reason why they don't want them in the skies is because people would literally form countries on them and live in the sky and stuff. They didn't like that, dude. They didn't like the amount. It made smuggling easy. It made all these. Dude, imagine living in a fucking skyship. People would do that. They would live in their skyships. There's a whole culture of it. Same thing with Malbec. The sky is littered with skyships. And the rich live in the sky because the ground has fucking acid rain and all these problems. And there's sky cities where there are floating islands. And they're above all the acid rain shithole clouds. And all of the slaves and the factory workers are stuck on the ground. And if you want to walk outside while it's raining, you literally need to wear a suit. I've been to this, okay? These blockheads want to start drilling in an ancient site, Chaco Canyon. Dude, I'm telling you, man. And he's giving all the national... Here's another thing. As a member of the United States, all of the national forests belong to you and me and everyone by our birthright, by living here. And Trump got rid of that. That pisses me off on a level that you don't understand. I'm Rainbow Family. I when I can, it's in a different spot in the country every year. I go to the woods with my family and I pray for world peace on the 4th of July instead of celebrating the beginning of this hellhole of a country. And they want to take that away from us. They want to target the rainbow gatherings and these ceremonies, which are important. We would be even in an even darker timeline if it wasn't for the Rainbow Family. I know it sounds crazy, but there's actual documented proof that when Buddhist monks came to New York City to meditate on peace, the crime rate went down. And that's what we do every year. Thousands of people meet in a national forest. We have a day of silence, a morning of silence on the 4th of July. We pray for world peace, and then we fucking party on the 4th of July. And we pray for the world instead of celebrating the United States, because the United States is just one small blip of a country. The world is what's important, and the world and each other is what we should celebrate. But I digress. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a patriot. I just think there's something wrong with being a patriot before being a global citizen. Does that make sense? Like, global citizen before patriot is actually the route. But I guess that sounds globalist, which has just been a buzzword for Jews control everything for such a long time. Let's be real. Like, I know there's some trueness to it, like global trade, global infrastructure. Creating a global infrastructure oftentimes does kind of shit on the little man. Like, you know, you're getting your strawberries from some giant corporation in Argentina instead of from the farm down the street. Stuff like that. I get how globalism is wrong, but it sort of has become like this buzz term for like George Soros controls everything. And anytime that anybody stands up for political justice, it was obviously manufactured by the Jew, George Soros. It's fucking ridiculous, man. I put up with a lot of BS in this community because the broken clock strikes, the broken clock strikes like right a lot in the truther community. We're the only people talking about the slavery in the colonies and on the moon and stuff like that. And what's sad about it is it gets trumped by all the Trump bullshit and all the Trump worship. It gets trumped by it. I promise you there's so many people out there who, they understand we're being lied to. They understand there's like time travel and weird stuff going on. They might not get it to the fullest extent. They might be still a little like, I don't know about it. But they feel it. There's something weird going on. We're being lied to. Most people understand that there's been some black ops projects from our government that have done some pretty fucking crazy things. A great deal of the population is unsure about the moon landing. Was it real? Was it not? Why haven't we gone back? I think that there's this idea in the truther movement, which I do not like. It's disrespectful to mankind. That the average human being is just a stupid fucking idiot, and they're stuck in the matrix, and they're a non-player character, an NPC, so they don't fucking matter, and that's basically just like the elite love that. That's what the elite think we are. That's how the elite treat us. They look at us as fodder, as like booting systems for their empires. We just do all the work for them, and now the truther community has adopted that same mentality. They must just absolutely fucking love that. You know what I mean? Oh, look, the sheep are pretending to be us. They're pretending to be illuminated ones that have more knowledge than the other sheep, and they're pretending that they're better than them. That's what the fucking elite do, you guys. They pretend they're better. They have an air of ignorance about themselves, or an arrogance about themselves, where they believe that everyone's so stupid and brainwashed that They deserve all this power. They deserve all this control. They deserve all these things because it's dangerous in the hands of the average caveman moron. That's what they believe, and that's what the truther community is adopting. You want to know the actual truth? The average human being on the planet Earth has a pretty goddamn good moral compass. There's like 10% of mankind, and I don't know the numbers. I don't have a map. I don't have but there's a very small percentage of mankind is evil. But the thing about evil people is they're sociopaths, so they weasel their way into power always. And so it helps create the illusion that humanity is actually super duper fucked up and like not like barely any of us have a moral compass. And that's the mind control stuff that they want us to think that. But the reality is this is all hidden. This whole world underneath us where they're doing all this stuff is all hidden because they know that the average person doesn't need to pick up a Bible and go, "Oh, rape is wrong. Okay. Oh, don't murder people." We just know that in our hearts. You don't need to fucking read a book to figure that out. It's common sense. We know that. And so in order to not receive justice, to not receive karmatic consequence for their actions by the other human beings around them, the dark ones live in a veil of secrecy. And what you're going to see with the what's going on right now is the secrecy is being unlifted. And to all you Trump people who just won't let it go and just think he's fucking King Jesus of the political sphere, you're turning your back on humanity. I'm not exaggerating. You're turning your fucking back on mankind itself by not admitting you're wrong. You're turning your back on your brothers, your sisters, and the two spirits and everybody else who's out there. You're fucking turning your back on them, pulling down your pants, spreading your cheeks, and going, "All right, ready, guys, I'm going to shit all over you. Here he goes. Here comes the diarrhea." That's literally what you're fucking doing. I'm not exaggerating. Maybe I'm being a little metaphorical with it, but I'm not exaggerating. Like, the people are ready. They know they're being lied to. Donald Trump, went on TV and talked about the Epstein files, MLK files. They're talking about UFOs. They're talking about how the people are being lied to. But what do they give you? Limited hangout, breadcrumb, nothing. Even Tyler, who I hate to keep on bringing him up, he said he went and saw one of those surface level dudes. I can't remember his name, and he's just like, "Man, this is just nuts and bolts. Get to the fucking point." See, that's where we're on the same team. That's where we're on the same team. We understand this esoteric stuff that's going on behind the scenes and how advanced it is. But no, Trump's not going to save us. Trump is compromised. Now, there might have been a point where he got tapped on the shoulder and he did some things and they moved some things around. So Hillary Clinton wasn't the president and we didn't have a nuclear fallout. Well, it's not nuclear fallout, but basically a giant war where the West Coast gets decimated and all this stuff. I've seen it in other timelines. It was eerie. The last time I was in LA, I sat on this bench. The last time I sat on that bench was in another timeline where LA was like decimated. And it was fucking eerie to remember that and sit there on that bench. So I'm going to be making another video soon too about my brother John Whitberg's book. I did make, see, this is the thing, yeah, we'd be in a worse situation, absolutely. I made a video yesterday about my brother's book. I found out a lot of stuff about myself by going through my brother's book, John Whitberg's book. As you know, he doesn't talk to me right now. I understand why more. I was kind of just like, "Oh, you're mad because I'm doing better in life than you." Maybe there's some of that. We've kind of had this weird brotherly competition thing. I don't know how normal that is. I think that's just a brotherly thing. But I don't want to be in competition with my brother. I just want to be friends with my brother again. I love him. I miss John. And yeah, I'm going to have to admit to some crazy fucked up things in this next video I make. I'm not doing it live because I don't want to see comments. I don't want commentary. I just want to say it and put it out there. And I hope that John watches it. Because, yeah, I need to apologize. I understand why he cut off contact with me. He could say I'm sorry too. It's a rough situation. He wasn't perfect either, but neither was I. You gotta understand being in this projects is hard. But yeah, another thing. Yeah, just RFK and the wearables. Have you guys heard about this? He wants everybody to have a wearable. It's like a medical device. He wants everybody to get the stuff installed them and all this stuff. I'm just kind of getting to the fact that all these things that we said we were against, like a military police state and like jackbooted thugs everywhere, like talking to people, it's okay now. To the like because Trump's doing it. That is one hell of a fucking psyop. Like I remember Alex Jones going on his fucking InfoWars like 15 years ago. I went on there when I was in high school. I would go on the computers before they blocked it, and they did eventually block the website. And man, he'd be like, they want to put a chip in you. They want martial law and police on every corner and all this shit. And all the stuff that he was saying, all the stuff that he would talk about, it's happening now. But it's all okay because Trump is doing it. It's craziness. It's absolutely bananas. Like, it's seriously bananas. Yeah, I don't know how much more I really have to say. I just wanted to bring up the fact that, like, the Smithsonian thing is a cover. They know what they're doing. They are making some of the people who would, like, some of these people, like Tyler Koala and all sorts of people, are investigative journalists who would be the ones shining the light on this and going, we need to stand up, we need to fight back. But with their limited hangouts and their breadcrumbs and everything else, they have tricked people who are at the forefront of disclosure into betraying humanity and propping up the very same people who are trying to create an AI-powered surveillance state that will eventually hook up our brains to a computer. This is by no exaggeration literally what's happening right now. By zero exaggeration whatsoever at fucking all. If anything, I'm understating how serious this is. Wearables as in, it's literally implanted in your body, from what I understand. And that, put a horror on Soros and his pulpy saying, just saying, the catch cat kids or orphan trained children now pay money and greasy train. Nazi, Nazi, Nas, Chipero, Muskie, Elon. I don't think Soros is good. I'm pretty sure he's like bad. He funds political movements and does weird stuff. That's all true. But what's not true is that every single political movement that ever happens, and anytime people get mad over political injustice and go protest against it, is funded by George Soros. That's silly. I've been into a lot of protests and I've done a lot of activism in my life, and I would be what a lot of these completely brain dead morons would be like. It's a paid protest. Da, 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 da. Never gotten the fucking paycheck in my life, you guys. I've had 1%ers point sniper rifles at me, for real, marching for Black Lives Matter because Black lives do fucking matter, and our cops are. Do discriminate towards black people, and yeah, all that's real. Like, I protested against it. It was weird being in a community of people being like, it's all a psyop. The corporation that they made called Black Lives Matter that took all the donations, that is wrong. But the people don't understand that Black Lives Matter was more just like, hey, Black Lives Matter. And then some people who are what's the word for it? Some people took advantage of it, made a bunch of money off of it because they're con artists. That doesn't mean that all of Black Lives Matter was doing that. You know, that's just like these people that sell Trump merchandise and they hate Trump. It's the same thing. Like, there are people that take advantage of political movements just to make money. And that happened with Black Lives Matter big time. But that doesn't mean that Black lives don't matter. They fucking do. I've always wondered, like, Oathkeeper, like, you're in my comments. I had a 1%er point a sniper rifle at me. Oathkeeper. Pretty sure you don't even like guys like Hangout, the Oathkeepers and the 1%ers. Regardless, I appreciate you being on my channel. I am trying to be not left, right, just try to be real. Like, you know, I understand why a lot of people supported Trump initially. I understand it totally. Don't understand it anymore, though. Yeah, what you need to understand, and I know this is probably a broken record, you've probably fucking heard this before, and this isn't what my channel's for. My channel's for SSP. But, of course that's true. Of course all lives matter. Duh. Of course they do. You know, and it's 100% true that if you go online and you look up some of these videos of police brutality where they shoot people, they murder people, they injure people where they're paralyzed for the rest of their life, all that stuff, it's definitely not just happening to black people. It's happening to white people. It's happening to Asian people. It's happening to Mexican people. It's happening to Indian people. It's happening to people of every fucking color of the rainbow of skin that is humanity. However, black people do get targeted more by the police. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin. All of you know this. I've gotten pulled over by the cops quite a few times in my life. And normally, it's been pretty relaxed. There's something going on. They ask me why, about what's going on. And then they let me on my way. One of the times it was like one of my blinkers went out, stuff like that. And there was one time where this is where I learned it. It was a life lesson for me. I got pulled over with my buddy, who his name's, people call him Tech. Not his real name, so I guess that's good. But anyway, I got pulled over with him, and man, these cops were aggressive. They were like yelling. They asked us if we had any drugs or guns in the car. And dude, like my friend, like Tech, like he's like a nerdy black dude. He's like a nerd, like a dude who watches Star Trek and stuff. That kind of guy. So it was just, for me, as someone who actually knows this guy, I saw it. To the cop, he was just some black thug. To act like that's not happening anymore is so fucking ignorant, and I won't stand for it. They tried. They might have tried, but they didn't. I'm not taking over. Do I look like I used to work for the Rockefellers and stuff. My name at Montauk was Jacob Rothschild. And they're racist. They believe in eugenics. So, if they did that, it would be to corrupt it and make it look bad. So it actually does make a lot of sense. And so it's like I said too, like we do gotta see this is an all color thing. Like I have experienced police brutality in my life. I've had I was walking down the street. My brother used to be a drug dealer, and they'd follow my family around a lot, including me. And I saw some friends from high school that I hadn't seen in a while, caught up with them like on a street corner. They were just going for a walk, and so was I. We were both walking somewhere. And I just said hi to them, caught up a bit. We were done with high school. Hey, what are you guys doing now? What are you doing with your lives? All right, bye. Did the old, that thing where you, whoop, boom. They thought that was me giving them drugs. So they literally came out of fucking bushes or something, like out of nowhere, with guns pointed at me. So, like, yeah, I've experienced police brutality, but like I said, in that situation with my friend Tech, I saw how they're like, they got like real worked up, like, and I've seen the difference of how they treat people. There is a difference. Does it mean that every cop is like that? Absolutely not. There's probably a lot of cops out there who don't see color, but to act like there aren't racist white cops who join just to be able to target minorities. Look at what we got going on with ICE right now. How many of these people do you think are just racist assholes who are just loving the opportunity to go around and indiscriminately kidnap immigrants and get paid for it? What a hellhole dystopia we live in, where it's what a hellhole where people are cheering this on, where people I respect, like, man, when I saw Nathan Sizek posting about how anybody who was talking about this egregious abuse and disrespect and toilet papering of our Constitution was just like some libtard, I mean, it made me want to fucking puke. We got armed thugs kidnapping people right here in Portland. They're taking it in front of like schools and daycares and stuff like that, and they're doing it on purpose. And while we're here, I've had Daryl James on the show, and he loves to talk about how South Park hates the elite. They hate the celebrities. They hate these fucking people, and some are the only people in Hollywood who are not compromised. Well, I challenge Tyler, Daryl, and all these right-wing ass fucking truthers to watch the new South Park episodes. They're speaking up for everybody, and they're fighting the good fight. They've always fought the good fight. I'm not saying they're right about everything. I don't agree with every South Park episode. But, 9 out of 10 times they're right. And it's hilarious. And even if they're wrong, the show's fucking hilarious. Like for instance, Cartman. I'm going on a tangent here, but he says racist things. The retard. He drops the word retard. All these things. But what's brilliant about it is they're showing you, like, yeah, he's an asshole, though. Like, don't be this guy. And it flies over a lot of people's heads, but... So I just think they're brilliant, the way they show everything. This question is, do you think we should just give amnesty to everyone who did not come here legally? I don't believe in borders, so I'm the wrong person to ask that. However, I will say this. The people who are going to court hearings because they're trying to receive amnesty should not be getting arrested at their court hearings, okay? And that goes against international law. That violates international law. So, at a legal level, regardless of my opinion, what they're doing is illegal. If you're going to a court case to stay here legally, it's a gray area. Because under federal law, well, you're not legal yet. But under international law, you're supposed to be able to go through the due process to prove that you are here for amnesty, and going home would be unsafe. So, I think that people should be, at the very fucking least, allowed to finish out their court hearings and let the judge or whatever decide if they think they have the right to stay. I think that's like the bare minimum. Like, not kidnapping people at their court hearings. Like, that's the bare fucking minimum. And I think that going to churches, going to preschools and daycares to take these people is an egregious abuse of power. There was a doctor, a chiropractor, an Iranian chiropractor who was kidnapped by ICE. Yes, I'm going to use the word kidnapped by ICE in Beaverton, just west of Portland here. And they took him at dropping his son off at daycare. Why the fuck couldn't these guys just go to his chiropractor's office? Because they want to scare children. Because they're jackbooted fucking thugs. That's why. Because they're literally the fucking American Gestapo. Let's stop kidding ourselves. That's why. They kidnapped him in front of a bunch of children and his son to traumatize them on fucking purpose. That's why they didn't just go to his job and take him at his chiropractor job while his son was at daycare. Which would be obviously less traumatizing for his son and all the children. I mean, they broke his window and were screaming at him. Do you think that's like a cool thing for like some 8-year-old kid who's about to color in a coloring book and have a PB&J and drink some apple juice? Do you think that's what they fucking need to see before they go in there? Just the amount of like the fact that like the truther community, its moral compass has just got completely thrown out the window for this fucking narcissistic pedophile. It's crazy to me. But I do know that I'm in the right corner, and I do know that time will prove me right, and I'm really looking forward to the vindication that's going to come with time. I'm really looking forward to sitting down on podcasts with people and looking at them right in the face and saying, I fucking told you so. I'm really looking forward to it, because I know it's going to happen. I've seen it in other timelines. It looks like it's going that way in this timeline. I believe what most of us Montauk people are here for right now is preventing another AI from being built. I say another because there's already 2, at least, here. One in Denver and one in New Orleans. So, I think that they don't want another one. So, I think the future's good. I think Trump's going to get exposed. I think that everybody's pissed off about the Epstein files. I think that even the truther community, a lot of them, will finally... Please just be willing to admit you're wrong. It's a power, not a weakness. It is an intellectual strength to be able to admit that you're wrong. That is an intellectual fucking badass trait that we have been brainwashed into thinking it means you're stupid. No, admitting you're wrong means that you learn a lot all the time. That you're continuously learning and growing and becoming more and more wise. That's what being able to admit you were wrong is. Not being stupid. And when it comes to how just morally corrupt this administration has been, just how just morally fucking bankrupt these people have been, it's time to admit you're wrong. It's been time to admit you're wrong. Like, I understand the pushback, the pendulum swinging the other way. Joe Biden coming on TV, let out on a fucking, there's like guys with sticks behind him damn near, you know what I mean? They did that on purpose though, it's a psyop. They made him completely incompetent, and then they give you this guy who, he might be some fucking shady casino owning fucking con artist, but at least he can have a fully formed sentence without someone obviously feeding it through their earpiece. You know what I mean? The whole world could see that Biden was in cognitive decline and barely knew what the fuck was going on. So, ICE just took a 6-year-old. Yeah, not surprising. I read more and more disgusting shit every day. I can't be friends with people in this community because I just can't see their posts. It just would make me sad. So I'm going to say one more thing before I go. Thank you for donating. It's in the thing for a reason. If I don't make $100 off YouTube in the month, I don't even get it. And they take like 15% of it. So if anybody feels like donating to my PayPal, paypal.me/ArkhamRoute, that's cool. You don't have to. It doesn't matter. I just appreciate you being here and giving me the information. But as I said, or giving all this information a chance and listening. But as I said earlier, no, I can't work a normal job. Okay? I can't. I turn into other people. I get memories back. I have to deal with like hardcore trauma, like out of nowhere. I can't predict that's when it's gonna happen. No, I can't have a normal job. And I'm trying to get this fucking reverb pedal. I'm making. You guys have heard it. Clarity. Uncertainty decimating clarity portal. It's on my Bandcamp and it's on my Patreon. It's some of the sound baths. I feel bad. I promised these sound baths like 2 years ago. I started the Patreon, but I couldn't figure out how to tune my synthesizers to 432. It took a surprising amount of research for me to finally figure out how to just tune my stuff to 432. Because my thought process was, what the hell is the point in making healing music if it's in this 440 messed up frequency? I finally got there. I got 432, and yeah, I'm just trying to hear it. I'll even show you guys. This is the reverb pedal I have right now. I got it off of Temu, or it's a $20 Temu pedal, and it pops when you turn it on, every time you turn it on. And I thought I could fix it, but after doing some research, you can make the pop quieter, but you can't actually fix it. It's a really cool sound, though, so basically I'm just trying to get a professional version of this pedal, and it makes sounds go longer, like, for non-musical people. I think so. Did the Germans come up with 440? I think so. I think they did. I should do a whole show on that. That would be an interesting show. It's become another one of those things where some people are like, that's not actually true, and it's just an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. No, it's true. Anti-Semitism is like whack. Like, just hating Jewish people is a really fucking whack thing to do. But oftentimes, all they gotta do is say, that's anti-Semitic, and because of the Holocaust, people are like, oh, I don't want to touch that. And now we're seeing the pendulum swing the other way with Israel because they're literally doing a genocide right now. And it's okay to talk about Jewish people doing messed up things. Like, it used to be like, if a Jewish person committed a crime and did something bad to a kid or whatever, God forbid you talked about it, that means it's anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? I hate people that hate people for existing. The Jewish people have a right to exist. No, they're not all blood-drinking fucking Satanists and all that stuff. If you learn the truth about it, the Canaanites and the ball-worshipping people pretend to be Jewish, and that's what the Khazarian Mafia is and all this stuff. It's which sounds, again, like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and I'm some anti-Semitic piece of shit. But I promise you, If you research it, the Khazarian mafia and the Canaanites and the Jews are two totally different fucking people. Two totally different groups, okay? Um, but yeah. So regardless of whether I get this reverb pedal today or tomorrow or whatever, I'm still gonna try to put out. I am gonna put out more of this music, and eventually I'm gonna get singing bowls too. I had a really cool experience recently. I told you guys about this where I was being followed around by this guy who had a knife who wanted to stab me, and it was one of those things where I would just show up places and he would just be there, and like time travel stuff, like. He wasn't following me. He would be at the places when I got there. And anyway, I called him out at the library. I said, I will not live in fear. Fuck you. I didn't say fuck you because I was at a library. But basically, I walking through the park. There's this guy who did this sound bath thing. Free sound baths. Donation. I gave him a little bit of cannabis for his services because I didn't have money, but I had a little bit of cannabis on me, which he was very happy about. And yeah, I did this like sound bath with this guy, and he had the bulls. And dude, it healed me so much. And so I can kind of do the same thing with my music equipment, with my guitar and my synthesizer and stuff like that. I can do it in a whole new way. That's a lot of fun actually. And that's what the reverb. I'm using my guitar. Like I'm making whole atmospheric tracks with just a guitar, no synthesizer. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. These effects pedals have come a long way. Yeah, I kind of want to show you guys my board, just to be a nerd. Fuck it. Check this out. This is my pedal board. I took the reverb pedal off of it, but this is it. And I make a lot of crazy sounds with that board there. The reverb pedal is obviously off, but that's where the RV200 would go. Right there, you guys. That's where it will go, right next to my Strymon timeline, which I actually believe I may have invented. But that's a whole nother story. Why do I believe that I invented the Strymon timeline? Because it's called a timeline. That's one reason. And another reason is because the company is called Damage Control, LLC. And I believe that we put out recordings that had effects that were too advanced for the years that it came out. Like the effects hadn't been invented yet. So we actually had to put out the blue sky and the timeline and some of these pedals in order for the effects to exist in time for some of these songs to exist. I know it sounds crazy. Don't quote me on that, because the memory is fuzzy. But I think that these pedals, the Strymon timeline, might have been in like a Montauk thing. It's weird, dude. Like the ice cream sandwich, the chipper ice cream sandwich, which is a ice cream sandwich which has 2 chocolate chips and vanilla ice cream, and then you roll it in chocolate chips, so there's chocolate chips surrounding it. It's called a chipper. That's what they would pay me with at Montauk. And we must have done some timeline changes and it didn't exist anymore, so then we made sure it existed. And so the chipper ice cream sandwich was like some guy like invented it and put all. You can look it up on Wikipedia. It was a Montauk time mission. The fucking ice cream sandwich. So it gets weird. Like we manufactured your reality, all of it, like everything. Like, oh, this ice cream sandwich doesn't exist anymore. Well, let's just go in there and make sure it exists. for reasons. Anyway, thanks for being here. All right, is it working again? That's hilarious. I don't know what's going on. Is it this microphone or is it StreamYard? I'm not sure. But I'm done anyway. Montauk did it. That's kind of what I think, honestly. Anyway, thanks for being here. No jackbooted thugs going around and fucking harassing people for smoking cigarettes on their porch isn't because the goddamn Smithsonian Institute is getting shut down. All right, bye, guys.